everyone, and welcome to the NRL Live Chat 2.0 podcast 2024 team wrap-ups. I'm Brenno. I'm here with PJ. We're reviewing all the NRL teams for 2024. Now we are looking at the 8th place Knights for the 2024 season. We're into the top 8, PJ.
Yeah, everyone, just a warning. Flash it up on the screen. There'll be a bias warning today. Bias warning. Woo, woo, woo,
No.
woo. It's Brenno's team, the Newcastle Knights. They finished in 8th spot in an 8th place playoff against the Dolphins, which was awesome to see. It was such a good game. And let's get right into it.
Yeah, we're going to break down their 2024 season and look at 2025. All right, PJ, you want to start us off with your overall view of the Knights season? How did it go for you?
Yeah, they started a bit average. They lost a couple of matches, and then they had a couple of wins, and then they had a couple of losses again, and it was a bit up and down at the start. But in the second half, they seemed to hit some form and get some quality matches back to back, and I think that made the difference. That consistency made the difference when it came to finals time.
Yeah, so not a great season compared to last year, unfortunately. Most of the year, we come pretty close each week. We're one of those 5 teams that beat the Storm as well. And I was there for that game. It was a great game. Only home game I got to go to this year, unfortunately. But it was good.
Oh,
Oh, no. Anyway, let's have a look at the Knights stats. Here we go. Position 8. Yoo-hoo. Snuck in the 8. 30 points, 12 wins, 12 losses, and minus 40. So pretty much the same as the Raiders that we just did.
yep.
But a little bit better in the points difference.
Yeah, the Knights were actually the 16th best attack in the comp, second last in attack. 470 points is just... Yeah, that's out of the final, sorry. 470 points is just 7 points better than the West Tigers attack. And no offense to West Tigers fans there, but that is terrible. The Knights have to score more points. And when you got weapons like Kale and Ponga in the team, that's got to be the big thing they change next year. In defense, the Knights were 6th. So 16th in attack, 6th in defense. That's what got them home. 510 points. Only the Panthers, Sharks, Bulldogs, Storm and Roosters were better than the Knights on the defensive side of the equation.
Yeah, so average points scored 19 and average conceded 21.
Yep. So, and you probably want to get that defense a bit better as well. But I tell you now, if the Knights could score just one more converted try, they win a lot more games this year.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, close in most of the games. Yeah, attack was usually pretty solid, but in their lead-up play, they just had trouble getting over the line. I found they get up to there, but they just could not get over the line to score. Defense was usually pretty good as well. Gagai, our veteran, he topped a lot of the stats in defense and attacking as well. And he actually received the Danny Badiris Award for his great effort this season at the Knights Awards night. I was actually more impressed with him learning how to pass the ball to the winger. Took him about to round 20 to figure it out, but realising, well, sometimes when you pass to your winger, they score tries.
It's true.
So,
let's have a look at the season, Brenner.
Let's have a look at how they went. So, yeah, as I said, not a really good start of the season. Yeah. Ouch, a lot of pink there.
Yeah, going down to the Raiders and the Cowboys in extra time. That was heartbreaking. The Knights deserved to win that match, and the Cowboys pulled it out of the fire. But then they come and everyone's like, all right, well, the Knights are definitely not going to beat Melbourne. So everyone tipped Melbourne that week, and no one gets a perfect round 3.
Yeah.
Knights pull it out and was like, oh, hang on, Knights might be good. Let's back them against the Warriors. And then they lose to the Warriors. But they beat St. George. They had a couple of tough matches against the Roosters and the Bulldogs, who were both top 5. And then they got on a bit of a green patch there, Brenno.
Yeah, nice. So, yeah, best game for me. Well, I could choose the game that we went and seen in round 25. That was a great day out and good win by the Knights against the Bunnies. But
You could pick that if
I
you want
could,
to.
but
It'd be a bad pick.
I'm going to go the last game of the season, actually. So up against the Dolphins, where it was set up to be a cracker. Winner goes to the finals in 8th spot. Knights turned up, but again, it didn't really score many points. But they got the job done, and they got into the 8s.
Yeah, best win of the season for me, Breno. 14-12 against the Storm. Honourable mention, though, that was a huge effort. Honourable mention to the 14-8 game against the Warriors. The Warriors absolutely were great that day and pushed the Knights all the way. But that match against the Melbourne Storm,
Yeah.
for me, it just made me realise that the Knights were definitely a team that could make the finals.
I was at that game. It was great, but I think
Yeah.
Melbourne were missing a couple of key players, which I think Pappenhausen
Yeah.
was gone, and
Yeah,
it
but
might have
even the
been a
return
couple
leg,
others.
Breno. I mean,
Yeah,
Storm got you 36-28 in the
yeah,
return leg, but the Knights played a great game. Like they
yeah.
absolutely, if their
But they
defense
did, yeah.
was anywhere near any other player, I don't know if you conceded 38 for the rest of the season, but 36, sorry, but oh yeah, once. So if they had their defense on point on that night, mate, they probably beat the Storm twice. No one's done that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. What about the worst loss, Breno?
So worst game. I have two, and they're against the same team, and I think you know where I'm going with this. Bulldogs in round 7 and 13, both games, and they just didn't turn up. And after last year, we put over 100 points on them in both the games. This time, the Dogs smashed us 36-12 and then 32-2. Not even a try in the round 13 clash, making it the worst for me, I think. It just didn't I cop it from the Bulldogs supporters, all my Bulldogs mates. Still copping it.
Now, I don't know if you know, ladies and gentlemen watching, but Breno's not a Bulldogs fan at the best of times.
No.
And then to lose to them twice by big margins, it was a tough season for Breno. He's got a lot of Bulldogs mates, but don't pick on him too much, all right? Come on. He's a good guy.
I just got to keep
Mine was
reminding
just a bit
about the
further-
100 points last year.
Yeah, mine was just a bit further down, Breno, round 19. The Knights had just beaten the Eels. They had a really tough win against the Raiders. They're looking good. They're trending to the finals. I think they were 11th, but they were 2 points out of the 8 at that point. They're playing against Manly, who are a bit battered and bruised and not really travelling too well. And they got absolutely walloped at 4 Points Park, the old Brookie Oval. That was the game for me, I think, the Newcastle Knights. It took them a bit to recover from that. You could see they lost to the Broncos, who were travelling bad.
Yeah, they didn't get on the bus when they went to Manly. I'm pretty sure they stayed at Newcastle.
They beat the bye, and then they come up against the Panthers. And that was a good effort, but, it took them a while to get another good win after that.
Another game we probably should have won.
Yep.
They were just so close. But yeah, they let it go away at the end.
Yeah, beat the West Tigers, lost to the Sharks in Golden Point, another heartbreaker.
Yeah.
And then they finally got back on the winning track, beating the Bunnies well, and then pumping the Gold Coast and then edging out the Dolphins in the 8th place playoff.
Yeah, who would have thought? It'd come down to the very last game of the season for the whole competition
That's awesome.
to seal that 8th spot, yeah.
That was awesome, yeah.
So, 2025, top 8, I hope so. Maybe 6th to 8th I'm with my bias, but they've got to stick with their halves pairing with Crosland and Cogger, I think. And Ponga just needs to be on. They can get in the 8, but, they could miss out next year possibly if they don't carry on like they did at the end of this season.
Yeah. Yeah, the Knights for me should be an 8th spot. I think I already gave someone 8th spot, so let's go 7th spot. No signings, but no real losses. They're going to have that core of the team, and this is the coach's last chance, if you ask me. Adam O'Brien has been under a lot of pressure to get this team performing and growing and getting better, and they've invested a lot in Kalen Ponga. I'm not sure they're getting their return dollar for dollar. They have to start moving up the points table and challenging for a title. I think the Knights fans are the most loyal in the competition, and that's not being biased because Breno's here and he's listening. But every game, even when they were coming dead last, they had massive crowds in that stadium.
Yeah, there's about 3 or 4 sellout games we had at home.
Yeah, they're the most loyal fans. They deserve better.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
the team just need to stand up next year and have a real crack. Their defence is pretty close to where it needs to be a top five team. They've just got to get their attack working. I'd be working all attack in the off season,
Yeah,
Bruno.
I think I've seen somewhere. Looked at it myself through the season, but in the end of the season, I think there was about 11 changes we had in the centres. So we
Wow,
just
only 11.
inconsistent. Just stick with your pairings. And I know we had a few injuries this year, which probably didn't help.
Yeah, yeah. Bradman Best, unfortunately,
Yeah,
such a talent, but my goodness, he gets injured 2 or 3 times a season. So I don't know how they solve that, or if there's any strength and conditioning or some kind of different training or techniques they can use. But if they can keep him healthy and playing at his best,
oh yeah, yeah.
then the Knights will
He's a
score
great
another
player.
50
Yeah.
points a season just there.
So
So,
yeah, so we lost a few players too. So Frizzell and Tuala.
mhm.
Also, they're looking at losing Brody Jones as well. I've heard somewhere.
Yeah,
He's
well,
off
he's off
contract.
contract
Yeah,
and they're struggling to fit him in. Tyson Frizzell has a player option, but he hasn't taken it up as far as we know.
yeah,
There's another good forward. You're talking about Josh Papali,
yeah.
Papali'i, whichever way you say it these days. We just talking about him being off contract and only 32. Tyson Frizzell would be another really good pickup for one of those teams just looking to go that next step.
So we lost Davey Armstrong too. So we had a few really good rookies come into the team this year as well. There was 3 times we had rookies come in and they scored a try on the first game. So
Yeah,
and
can't piss Paul look good.
he was good. It took him a long time to score a try
Yeah,
in the year, but he got there.
yeah.
He's
He looks the size that I think he can work with and train and develop.
yes,
You know, I
no,
thought Phoenix
absolutely.
Crossland had an amazing season. The Knights have really struggled for a decent halfback for a while. You know, they've had different guys kind of coming and going and never had the consistency. He looked really good this year, and I think he'll be better next year for him.
Absolutely. Let's hope.
We'll see what happens. So that's the Newcastle Knights, Breno.
Yes.
We're into the top 8, and next up we're playing against. We're doing a review on Manly. So let us know in the comments
Manly.
what you thought of the Knights season, whether you think it was a pass, a fail,
Yeah, be nice.
what they need to do to improve. Should Tyson Frizzell re-sign? Let us know what you think, because there's a player
Absolutely.
option in his favour. I hope he does, because the Knights need him. And we'll catch you at the Manly review next time.
Boo, Manly. It's all right. Manly hates you too. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll
See you.
see you in the next one.